So I have the Mark 5 Jetta up on the lift. If you notice, there is no tailpipe. Shortly after I got this car, the tailpipe was always sagging when we purchased it. And shortly after, it literally broke off. So what happened was where the tailpipe came over the axle beam here, it rooted over the beam, and where it mounted to this muffler, this all rusted, and the pipe just basically got really fatigued and cracked. So I just ripped it off because it was clanging around in here, and have been driving the car like this. But I'll give you a quick little look. So there's supposed to be a muffler here with the twin outlet tips, a muffler here that goes up and over the beam into this large kind of muffler right ahead of the rear wheel. And then there's this like strange side outlet. So here's the muffler, and it comes out on the side and goes to like this triangular resonator here, and then straight up into the catalytic converter. So I looked for replacements, and I came across a website called UPSW.com, I believe. I will include the link below. So I was looking for replacements, and I came across this very inexpensive complete exhaust from UPSW.com, and I believe it was $269 delivered. And it's a complete set, so it's 3 components. So it's like this is the part that's missing right now. It's a fairly OEM looking tailpipe section, even includes the dual tips with the rolled tips. So it looks like the OEM. Here's that large kind of center muffler with the piece of tubing that goes over the axle. That's where it's actually broken on the one on the car. So that looks fairly OEM. The noticeable difference is this section, right? So this is kind of like that mid-pipe section. And instead of that triangular kind of muffler resonator, this kind of has like a traditional kind of like bullet style resonator. Came with clamps as well. But, you know, for under $300 delivered, I figured I couldn't go wrong. So like I said, the link will be below to where I found this. I am going to install it now because I'm curious how the fitment is. So we'll install it. I'll go over the fitment and just start it up, see what it sounds like. I'm not expecting anything special from a sound point of view, but more curious about, like, does it fit using the original hangers? Is it, you know, does everything fit nicely? So here we go. So one thing, all right, so this is basically, there's this like slip joint from that mid pipe to the section with the catalytic converter. So I'm gonna undo these bolts, put some penetrant on them on this kind of like band clamp, undo these bolts and start taking everything off and slipping everything back on. Here's the finished product, the installed exhaust. I'm making this video actually a couple months after I actually did the installation. But you can see the dual tip is similar to the OEM configuration. They're a little dirty right now. They have some soot on there and steel wool that would clean right up. But the fitment, I mean, it really is a good OEM equivalent or replacement. It's very quiet. I mean, it does not have any performance tone to it whatsoever. Interesting thing is I did run the car for a couple days and start it without this tail section installed. So basically it was the big like suitcase muffler that's right before the axle, and I drove it without this rear section, this second muffler here, and it was still very quiet. So I know a lot of people you know, do muffler deletes and stuff to get more aggressive sounds. So if you were going to do a muffler delete on this setup, don't even bother wasting your time deleting this guy, the one back here. It would be deleting that forward muffler in order to get more noise out of this. So I'll just give it a couple revs and so you can hear the sound and maybe do like a quick little drive-by. That's my review of this particular exhaust. Again, details are in the description below. And you know, it's not a performance exhaust by any stretch. Doesn't really give it an aggressive sound. It's just a inexpensive OEM equivalent replacement, in my opinion. So if you found this helpful, like the video. And if you want to see more content with this car, subscribe to this channel.